Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. This is Mohammed Aljaber, and we are working on chapter 4 exercises still. And here in this video, we're going to be looking at the last exercise that we have selected for this chapter, exercise or question number 21. So let's read it together. The question says, consider a mutual fund with 200 million in assets at the start of the year and with 10 million shares outstanding. The fund invests in a portfolio of stocks that provides dividend income at the end of the year of $2 million. The stocks included in the fund's portfolio increased in price by 8%, but no securities are sold. So this is just capital gains or unrealized capital gains on the stocks within the portfolio. And there are no capital gains distributions. The fund charges 12B1 fees of 1%, which are deducted from the portfolio assets at year end. What is net asset value at the start and end of the year? And what is the rate of return for an investor in the fund? Now here we have two main questions that we gonna need to answer. We're going to need to calculate the net asset value at the start and at the end, and we also need to calculate the rate of return. In reality, even if the question just asked us to calculate the rate of return for the investor, we're still going to need to figure out the net asset value at the start and the end, right? So this is a, we could call it a complex question, but the solution is straightforward. So let's start from the top and see what we're going to do with this. First, we'll start with calculating the start of year NAV. Net asset value. Or you could just say net asset value at time 0, right? I'm okay with both ways of representing this, and that would be the market value of the assets in the fund, which was 200 million, the question gave us no liabilities of the fund, so we could represent it this way, or you can just ignore this part and not write it. Okay, divided by the number of outstanding shares, which was given to us right here, 10 million shares. All right, that would be 200 million divided by 10 million, and that would give us $20. Okay, so that would be the fund's net asset value per share at the beginning or at the start of the year. Now let's look at the end of year net asset value. We could call it net asset value at time 1, or you could write end of year net asset value. That would equal, here are the changes that happened to the fund's holdings. The stocks within the portfolio have increased in price by 8%, right? And the commission or 12B1 fees of 1% were taken out. Okay, so we could start with the net asset value of the fund at the beginning, which was 20, and then multiply it by 1 plus the interest rate or the rate of return on the stocks, which was 8%. But let's represent it in a decimal format. Okay, so we can calculate this way: the $20 multiplied by 1, that will be 1.08, which will show us or reflect the increase in price of the fund's holdings. Okay, and then also multiply by 1 minus the fees. Okay, which if we're gonna rewrite 1% in decimal format, it's gonna be 0.01. All right, This simple calculation would show us what net asset value at the end of the year will be. So $20 multiplied by 1.08, that will be $21.60. Okay, multiplied by that would be minus, so let me erase that. That would be 0.99, which is 1 minus 0.01. Run the numbers in my calculator. That would equal 21.384. It's a dollar amount, so I'm gonna drop the last decimal place. Whoops. We'll round it to $21.38. Okay, you can do that, or you can keep your rounding until the end, because we still haven't done with our calculation. We're still gonna need to calculate the rate of return, but this is the other part of the requirement, which is to figure out the net asset value of the fund at the end of the year, and the answer to that is $21.38. Okay, now we can go ahead and calculate the rate of return. Which, if you remember from a previous exercise, we said that it equals delta net asset value, meaning the change of the net asset value of the fund, plus any distributions, if there was any, and we'll divide by the net asset value at time 0, or the starting of the year, or start of the year net asset value. Okay, and that will be $21.38 minus $20. Okay, now let's go back to the question. Just confirm if there was any distributions. Here, as you can see, it says the fund invests in a portfolio of stocks that provides dividend income at the end of the year of $2 million. Now, here they did not give us the dividend per share, but we need to figure it out, and that would be 2 million divided by the number of outstanding shares here. So I'll just either do it this way and say 2 million divided by 10 million, or you can do this calculation somewhere here on the side and then use the outcome to substitute in your formula. All right, all of that divided by the start of year net asset value, which was $20, right? So now let's see, 21.38 minus 20, that would be 1.38 plus 2 million divided by 10 million, that is 0.20, so 20 cents basically, divided by $20. Okay, 1.38 plus 0.20 divided by 20. That will give us 0.079. And if we transform this into a percentage format or multiply by 100, that will give us 7.9%. And that would be the answer to the third part, or the third requirement of this question. So the rate of return on this particular fund by the end of the year is 7.9%. All right, that would be the answer to question number 21. I hope you found this video useful, and that would be the last exercise we have selected for chapter 4. Hope you enjoyed this series. I'll see you in any upcoming chapters, exercises, inshallah. Until then, take care.